Meanwhile, the National Party has handed its list of demands to Scott Morrison as the junior coalition partner tries to broker over net zero. Live to Jonathan Lee in Canberra. Jonathan, the Nationals declaring the ball is now in the PM's court.
Tom, good morning to you. That's certainly what the National Party is saying at the moment. We're still a long way from the climate wars being over, but perhaps a significant hurdle is about to be jumped. After 5 days of political posturing and talking and enjoying the limelight, the National Party met late yesterday afternoon. They've subsequently handed their list of requests and demands. There you can see them on the screen, showing that they walk the walk. Those demands gone to the Prime Minister now for thorough consideration. There is a fair bit to them, so if you're at home and you're wondering how this potentially might play out, let me show you what some of those demands are. One of the significant ones appears to be a sort of trigger fuse. It's been called a regional socioeconomic safeguard. That would be inserted into any pledge made by the Prime Minister at Glasgow, allowing for a pause mechanism if needed. There would also be a push for targeted financial support. No great surprise there. Transition package for mining, agriculture, manufacturing and fisheries. While the Nats are firm on saying there is no fixed dollar, that's despite David Littleproud saying today that money makes the world go round. They are seeking guarantees that regional sectors can continue to operate and won't be phased out. David Littleproud spoke in the corridors early this morning.
Ball's in the Prime Minister's court. The National Party has met and we've got to a position where we feel that we can get comfort, not just to our party room, but to those people in regional Australia we serve down here, that we can give them some protections, but give them the opportunity to be part of the solution.
The Cabinet will consider this matter next week before I head off to Glasgow, and as yet I expect to see some further information on that today, and we'll work through that and determine what we'll take forward to Cabinet next week. A decision will be taken by Cabinet, and I'll be in a position to announce that later in the week.
Yeah, well, good luck if you're going to take a pause option to Glasgow, because no one else is talking about a pause when it comes to this international agreement. Meanwhile, the Treasurer continuing to talk up the need to transition, Jonathan.
Yeah, what we're seeing here, Tom, is a significant front-running by the Treasurer when it comes to action on net zero and reducing carbon in our economy. It's something he's talked about. He's talked about the impact on businesses, potentially to homes and mortgages. But what we're also starting to see now is a unification across the Liberal Party of moderates and also Conservatives. Peter Dutton getting behind the idea of signing up to net zero. Angus Taylor and also Josh Frydenberg, a moderate himself from Victoria, on Sky this morning, talking about not necessarily the consequences, which is what they really hit the Labor Party with at the last election, but now the opportunities, the job potential.
It's not a binary choice between a strong economy and a lower emissions future. We can have both. We've seen emissions come down, Pete, by more than 20% since 2005. And at the same time, our economy has grown by more than 40%.
At the end of the day, much of the work that has to be done to bring down emissions in a sensible way has to be done in regional areas. That's the reality. In our plan, the focus is on making sure that there's upside for the regions, not downside.
So how does this play out now in the next week or so, Tom? The Prime Minister considers this now what's been put to him. He'll go back to the Nats. The Nats potentially looking to meet again on Sunday. What would be agreed upon would go to Cabinet. That would be discussed potentially on Wednesday before the Prime Minister flies out and heads overseas to Glasgow. But what we are starting to see now is the coalition nullifying the issue of climate change, and the Labor Party also making sure by not giving a midterm target at the moment, there is very little difference between the two parties. That's how the Labor Party wants to play it.
That's the case for now. We'll see what happens on 2030, which is still the year a lot of other countries have given new commitments to. Jonathan, thank you.